Hello Rat Bags, it's Jade. Welcome back to another Extra Life preview of the Genesis DLC for ARK Survival Evolved. I've shown you two brand new creatures. Go and check out the Ferox and the Magnosaurus or Magnosaurus. Is that how you say it? Basically, two brand new creatures with the DLC. This third revealed that they revealed as part of their Extra Life fundraising event. You can go and donate them some money. I'll leave the links in the description box down below, and you can check out this stream. It's running right now for 24 hours. It's maybe not as sexy as the first two, and there was also a bit of confusion when the wildcard devs thought they'd received a $55,000 donation. Turns out it was a mistake. Someone accidentally put too many O's. But for a while, it would have been wild. Like, they would have had the money they'd beaten last year and everything. Anyway, gonna let the developers speak. Let me know what you think about this. I'm going to have some more thoughts about this platform because it's something I've been talking about, how Atlas has really enforced or envisioned how ARK's DLC is going to be. We're going to be at water a lot more in Genesis DLC, and it's taken on a lot of the Atlas devs to come and work on it. Atlas devs are going quiet at the moment. They're only working on bug fixes, no new content. And throughout the live stream, they've been speaking to some of the devs, and they've all been talking about how they've worked on both games. So expect ARK Genesis to be very much water based, and a lot of the features from Atlas are going to be in it. Anyway, here you go.
Yeah, so next up for Genesis, we have a new structure, and the structure is going to be our ocean platform.
Yeah, so go ahead and make that transition, good sir. Luke.
And what this is going to be is this is going to be very similar to all of our previous platform structures in that you can build on it, you can place anything on it. It's a foundation for building anywhere you want. The difference being that it floats on water. It's very sensitive to land. It can't be placed anywhere near land. It has to be fully in the water, but it will stay on the water, and then there's a giant hole in the center that you can fill up with foundations, or you can leave it open so that you can create a safety pin for any of your water dinos so that they're actually safe floating out on the open ocean.
Oh, man.
And this is one of those things that over time it will degrade. You'll have to take care of it and maintain it just to prevent them from being a nuisance and just left all over the place, as we know people tend to like to do. It's going to have a very, very, very high structure limit since it's not a moving platform.
I'm sure people would like to hear that.
This is a place where you will be able to have your base out on the open water on the ocean. And then there will be two different size variants. We're going to have the wooden size, which is going to be a little bit smaller, with quite a large hole in the inside still. I think I can't remember exactly how many foundations across, but it's quite a few.
Yeah.
And then that will actually fit inside of the larger metal one. And the metal one will be much larger for a full size. You could build an actual full size base on this and live off of this raft with everything you need, and maybe even a few dinos for storage. So we're trying to give players a way to play on the water and be more in tune with the water in ARK. And then we're going to make sure it supports full attachments for ropes and all that, so you can actually get back on it. But yeah, that's our floating ocean platform.
No, this is exciting. I know it seems like, a lot of people, like, building is a large part of our game, and giving people options and new ways to build. We have a lot of creative builders. Especially in the PvE community, there's a lot of creative builders. I see builds on Twitter. I see builds on Reddit. So this just gives more creativity and gives a little more flexibility to those people who do like to build. I'm sure there's other practical uses for this too, but I know that, typically PvE community loves when we introduce new structures, whether that be cliff platforms or saddle platforms or whatever it may be. I know they have a time with a lot of the platform stuff. So, and this also gets them, like you were saying, I get a lot of feedback about, more things to do in the water, whether that be creatures or just getting them out in the water a little bit more. So this is a step closer to that.
Well, and right now the only way you could build out on the water is either a dino with platform saddle, which is going to be super limited because that many moving structures just is very rough on a server.
Yes.
Or you have a raft, which is very similar. It's very limited. It's not you don't have a lot of options, or the next tier up is an underwater base, which is a very expensive structure. You need tech to just be able to run it and power it, and it's a very wide gap between play. So this is more for a sustained life on the water, or being able to have just that mobile base and have a crafting thing, up safe up top, or a place just to get away from the water dinos, all the sharks and whatnot in the water, because it can be very difficult going through our water.
And the flip side of this is probably, at least something that I see from it is it also expands the areas that you're able to build. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it gives you more space, even though we didn't make the map bigger. It gives you more options
That's a
and
very
more
good point.
areas to build. So it feels like the map will be a little bit bigger because now you can build here, you can build there. Typically water, as he was saying, there's only limited ways that you can build in the water, but this opens up the door for different builds and different opportunities to live out on the water or near the water, which would not be me. But,
Yeah. But I mean, you think about that, right? Like, it opens up what you guys initially thought you could have done on, like, the island, for example, right? And it's just like, oh my God, like, now this is an entirely new option. Like, what does that even entail as a player? And it's just another unique opportunity of expanding what we plan to bring for Genesis, not just from a new content perspective, but as well as updating what you initially thought was the meta and what you initially thought was possible for gameplay. So this, in its simplicity, offers a lot of complexity.
No, it does, and it's getting people out to where they want to be. People talk about the water a lot, whether that be more dinos for the water, more things to do, more exploration, more discoveries to have under the water. So I think you're being heard in that sense, and that I think this next DLC will definitely show you more things to do out in the water. This is being one of them. This is definitely one of our focuses on this DLC is trying to give you more options and more flexibilities, and whether that be places where you can live or things like this where you can start to expand out on the water a little bit.
When we have shown at least some of the different places you'll be.
Yes.
And given that one of them has quite a bit of this substance, we needed a way for people to actually be able to play and survive in that environment, and we lack the structure for it. So this is filling a need and enabling gameplay that wouldn't be anywhere else, but definitely even more importantly for Genesis is making sure that it's completely accessible in all the ways.
Yes. What it sounds like is that this is going to be important.
Maybe a little bit.
Strategically.
A little bit.
All right.
Right.
All right. So it's not just a PvE thing, what it sounds like. It could be a PvE thing, but it sounds like it may be a little bit more important. Who knows? That's cool, though. I think that, again, more structures. Typically, nobody's going to be mad with more structures. I don't see anybody complain like, no, I don't want any more structures. Stop putting those in the game. In fact, they want more. So I think this is a step in the right direction as far as more structures, more ideas that you can build with. So it'll be really cool. Really cool.
And I do have to agree here, I'm coming back in basically, water in ARK is boring as hell. They've tried doing things in the past. Some of their mod creators, the creator of the center map and has done a lot of work on Aberration, Evil Mr. Franks, he tried making the very first big pass at water caves on the center map to make them more interesting and be more labyrinthian. But on the islands, the caves are a little bit more just about going and getting the artifacts. So DLC set in a much more watery world does tie into a lot of the things I was talking about recently, talking about how ARK influenced Atlas and ARK Mobile, and now ARK Mobile and Atlas are both influencing the new DLC, and that's okay. Let me know what you think about water. It's about time we had some more uses for all them water creatures, and hopefully a whole lot more. A bit disappointed about the building sets though. It does look like we're not going to get a full new building set. For the longest time now, Scorched Earth since then, that was the last time we had a custom build set that had its own building unique properties like the adobe. I would really love to see something like that back again. We've only ever had items like cliff platforms, tree platforms and a few other bits, but I want a full tile set for one of these DLCs to really make everything look different, make it cement, make it reinforced stone, wood, I don't know, something else for us to really build and get to grips with. Let me know if you agree or disagree about that one, and make sure you go and check out the rest of these streams. I won't be necessarily back for the next reveal. I've got to go to sleep. It's pretty late for me, but I will be back in the morning with a recap of all the reveals they've released while I was asleep. So make sure you tuned in for that. Until next time, rat bags, laters.